All right, I think we start from here. Very warm welcome from our companies. My name is Armin Dudek. I'm the CEO of ProLens, iGo Optical, and Bilosa in Austria. And we are sharing some very good, interesting insights with you. Thanks for sharing your time. We have 60 minutes. You're able to ask questions in the chat, which we will ask or answer at the end, or we have a small discussion round at the end. So with me tonight is Arnoud from wavefront-guided, Elena and Marco Iovino from Medlac and Aitana. Karen Brown is also here from wavefront-guided. So I thank you again for your time sharing with us, and I hand over to Arnoud, who's taking you through the first slides.
Wonderful. Thank you, Armin. Welcome, everyone. We're thrilled for this wonderful webinar here, and from elevation to excellence. And our aim tonight is to inspire you, and of course to invite you as well to come and work with us. So today's theme is about higher order aberrations control, and how that is done, and what steps are needed to do all of that. So we're here with, as Armin said, with iGo, with ProLens, and with Medlac, and we're very excited to get going. We're most happy to introduce you to Aitana Munguia Conejero, and she has an optics degree in optometry from the University of Santiago de Compostela in Spain, and a master's degree in vision sciences at the Polytechnic University of Catalonia. And she is a true specialist on specialty contact lenses and myopia control, a member of EuroK, IXO, and board of directors of OptoFem, as well as CEO of Óptica Conejero in Girona in Spain. So she will be presenting later on. Also here is Marco Iovino. He is an optometrist and an orthoptist, but of course we know him as the big person behind Medlac, CEO and also lens designer. And so he has a whole range of lenses from ortho-K to scleral, and some soft lenses as well. And well, our focus here will be on the ortho-K, or sorry, on the scleral lenses, and he also will present this evening. And very welcome, Marco. So my name is Arnoud Snepvangers. I'm co-founder and CEO of wavefront-guided, and it is my absolute pleasure to give you a very quick introduction into the eye surface profiler. Because the eye surface profiler plays an important part in the whole system that is required to get to lenses with higher order aberration correction. Because you need to have a very well-centered scleral lens, and the eye surface profiler can play in a very important role in that. So let's get started. wavefront-guided was founded in 2012, and we have about 330 customers right now. You see that on the map, lots in Europe, lots in the US, and we are spreading out to other countries right now, and particularly Latin America is spreading. You see a cluster of customers in Australia as well. More than 25,000 lenses have been fitted. And what we, from the outset, wanted to do with this device, with this technology, was to have a device that is capable of fitting all types of lenses, from the smallest corneal lenses to the largest scleral lenses, and also an instrument that is capable of measuring all types of eyes, from healthy eyes, of course, to very pathologic eyes. And with that, we wanted to create a device that is precise, that is fast to measure and easy to use. So that's what we're doing. The core technology is called Profilometry. And the way that you should see it is that you instill fluorescein onto the tilt film, and then we project line patterns. You see that in the center image there, line patterns of cobalt blue light. And so when that cobalt blue light hits the fluorescein molecule, it will scatter it back in all directions. And so no matter where that light hits the eye, whether it's in the periphery on the sclera or in the center of the cornea, it will always scatter some of that light back into our camera. And this is why we have exposure. We can measure the full surface of the eye as far as it is exposed. And you see that on the right there. That's we measure up to 20 millimeters. And so what we also try to do is to create a system that not just takes the scan and gives you then some software and some parameters and maps to analyze the data, but also introduces fitting algorithms. So basically the measured front surface of the eye matched with the back surface design of the lens, and then a lens ordering system so that you can push out your lens order of that custom fitted lens to the lab that you choose, and they will then also receive the 3D data file of the shape of the eye, so that also on the lens manufacturing side, on Medlac side, they know exactly what the shape of the eye is. So the measuring process is pretty straightforward. You need to hold open the eyelids, and you center the device, you focus, you click on fire, and you see just in 2 flashes, the measurement is done. Very quick process, 500,000 data points, no extrapolation. So what does that then enable? It allows you to then fit GP lenses and ortho-K lenses. Many of these ortho-K lenses and GP lenses nowadays are close to the limbus, are 11, sometimes more millimeters in diameter. So it is really important that you measure the full cornea every time. And of course, you saw that on the photo before. We always measure the full front surface of the eye, including the complete surface of the cornea every time. So it is very much useful technology for corneal lens fitting as well. But of course, scleral lenses, and that is the focus of our presentations here this evening, is very important. You measure up to 20 millimeters. You can see some very irregular eyes here. We have a very quick photo system, so eye movement is seldom a problem, and so it allows you to get very detailed information, not only of the cornea but also of the sclera. So the benefit, what does that then give? Of course, one of the key targets of this device is to reduce the number of refits. And with that, you have a better story to your patient. You can get them fitted with the best fitting lens much quicker than before. And it allows you, therefore, to use the positive word of mouth from the satisfied patients to attract more patients. And it also, of course, leads to better patient outcomes. And it's mostly, of course, expressed in more comfort and longer wear time, but also on the vision correction. And of course, particularly on the vision correction here this evening, we want to share some detailed information about how that can be done even smarter. And but it's also in your practice, it is very useful to have a single device that you can use to fit any type of lens, and in particular to unlock the capability of freeform lenses. With Medlac, it's the SLG Adapta lens, a freeform lens based on the 3D data that you've measured with the eye surface profiler. And last but not least, as I mentioned in one of the first slides, is that we have the direct connect ordering system, allowing you to take that measurement of the eye, have the best fitting lens calculated, and then pushing that out to the lab. And this is then also the perfect bridge to hand over to Marco Iovino for his part of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Arnaud. Thank you for the introduction, and I would like to thanks to you also because with your technology, our work is changed very much, and we will see in this presentation how technology is making a new step in the optometric and contactology work. For the happiness of our patients that can enjoy always better product and better fittings. So this presentation is made in cooperation with Eaglet Eye, with OVITZ, and we are presenting the authorized distribution for UK market of the iGo company, is a ProLens company. We will be at the booth number 7 present at the next BCLA Congress. So this presentation is only an introduction, and if you want to take care and if you want to test all the technology that we are presenting today, you can come to our booth, to our stand. Okay, so let's go. What is Adapta? SLC Adapta is not a relative new design, new product, but we already developed this 5 years ago when ESP came on market. And thanks to the ESP maps, today we have enough information on the ocular surface that allow us to manufacture a special, well-fitted, following the shape of the eye lens. So this platform, as we can see in this presentation, is the correct platform for the HOE correction. Why? Because of course, if a lens is very stable and respect the shape of the eye, this will be very, very stable on the visual axis. So all of us to put, for example, our Aberrometry system made in cooperation with OVITZ. So SLC Adapta is a tailor alignment in peripheral curves. So what have of new is a freeform lenses that follow the shape of the eye around the eye. Every 360 meridians are completely tailor-made and customized. If we add at this shape, at this lens, this product, we add a super optics made by Aberrometry, we will have a super lens. So with ocular profilometry, we now know that ocular surface are not the same between one patient and another. So we know very well the needs for a non-periodic lens. What is a non-periodic lens? Non-periodic toric sclera is a sclera that is a completely asymmetric. So using the profilometry, we can have an immediate idea of the shape of the cornea of the eye of the patient. SLC Adapta is a freeform lens. At the moment is only available using ESP profilometry. And also using the tangential angle map that ESP company, Eaglet Eye company developed. We know exactly in each point, 500,000 points analyzed, we know the tangential angle. This is very important because fundamentally SLC Adapta is based on tangential curves. As you can see here, this is not a new, with a very good freeform lens, we can allow patient with very high irregular cornea and ocular surface to wear lens for all the day and with the maximum comfort. SLC Adapta is now considered to be the gold standard in Europe. We fitted more of 4,000 patients, and refits with this lens are very, very low. The 90% of the refits will be only on refraction, so follow the change in refraction. But the change in the shape of the lens are very, very rare because the technology used to scan the eye is very, very accurate. Eaglet Eye with the software of ESP allow the practitioner to select a manufacturer. In this case, you can select Medlac or IGO, our distributor, or ProLens, another distributor for Switzerland, for Swiss, and select Adapta. So automatically in the lens ordering system Direct Connect, you can go to order immediately an Adapta. After that, you have a very good map. Today's presentation will be done on this index. We will talk what is Aberrometry. We will talk about what is the right patient selection for HOE control Aberrometry. The protocol for aberrometry measurement over the lens. This is new because now what we knew in the past was to take an aberrometry, a full aberrometry of the eye on a naked eye, but never we used an aberrometer to take full aberrometry over the lens. We like to use this procedure like over aberrometry. Also, we will talk about Aberrometry, how order an Aberrometry system, and we will clarify what is the difference between Aberrometry and OVITZ HOE. Aberrometry is a trademark of Medlac, developed in cooperation with OVITZ, but you can have this feature using also other kind of aberrometers. If you have an aberrometer of OVITZ, the X-wave aberrometer, of course, you can order through directly the OVITZ HOE. We will clarify this in the next slides. We will also talk, and Aitana Munguia, a very valued practitioner, very, very experienced, we will follow me talking about the lens dispensing evaluation and protocol, low order aberration refining procedure, and also at the end of this presentation, we will talk about 3 very important and very curious case reports. What is Aberrometry? Aberrometry is an advanced wavefront-guided contact lens customization technology developed by Medlac with OVITZ. You can see in this slide what are the most common issues of patients that have irregular cornea wearing a lens in the night. Everybody of us know that the correction with GP lenses very commonly are not enough to give a good or a perfect vision in the night. So the technology Aberrometry is a technology that will correct absolutely 90% of this defect. Aberrometry is designed to correct high order aberration that the standard lens cannot address. Look at this video. I can show you how we do manufacture an Aberrometry lens. You can see that the optics is decentered. Why? Because the optics of the Aberrometry optics must be perfectly aligned on the visual axis of the patients wearing the lens. Everybody of us know that the lenses, especially the large diameter scleral lenses, do not sit perfectly centered on visual axis. So we will see how to order correctly an Aberrometry lens. Anyways, this kind of technology at the moment is available on this list of products. Of course, SLC Adapta, but not only. You can have Aberrometry also on SLC Konica, is our preformed scleral lens design. We also can put Aberrometry on microscleral MSC preformed microscleral design, MedMax corneoscleral, and also very, very curious, we had some tests and we released also this technology on Med Keratoplus. What is Med Keratoplus? Is a soft, thickened contact lens for irregular cornea. This slide show you what is the difference between low order and high order. When we work with the sphere, cylinder and axis and with normal spectacles, we only manage the low order aberration. But all the high order aberration until today was left uncorrected. What are the high order aberration? High order aberration are the polynomial of Zernike that start from vertical trefoil and finish to oblique pentafoils. So the value today given by the modern aberrometers are important and are expressed in microns so that we can use this value of each polynomial to calculate the Aberra-X optics. The patient selection. Who is the best candidate for Aberra-X? I can tell you, theoretically, everyone can have an improvement using a Aberra-X optics. But of course, the patient that complain vision issues related to residual optical aberrations must be recruited to Aberra-X system. Of course, if you have an X-wave aberrometer, you can also see this visualization of the coefficients. This is called plots. In the image on our right, we can see the plots where every polynomial have his column, and we can immediately understand if the value of this polynomial are subclinical or are in red line. Red line, this means that the polynomial are severe and need to be correct to give the best vision to our patient. In this slide, we can see that the correction of Aberra-X is made in the optical zone of lens, can be decentered and can be oriented. We can select the patients that can want to improve visual acuity and when he's wearing a GP lens that does not allow the maximum visual performance, or patient that with GP lenses, sclerals or corneosclerals complain glare, ghosting, monocular double vision at night time. Absolutely, we are not able to correct patients that logically have a reduced transparency of cornea. Very important is the protocol and how we take an over aberrometry over the lens. The first stage to take an over aberrometry is to make sure that the measurements are made on the final fit of the lens. What this means? This means that we must always fit the patient with the standard optic lens, arriving to the final lens that is well fitted, well oriented, and of course have the less amount possible of residual refraction. Over this lens, we can go to take an over aberrometry. The over aberrometry with the instrument must be done in the full darkness in the room, and we have to train very well the patient to look straight on the fixation stimulus. But also is very, very important that we cover the other eye that is not being examined. After this, we must instruct the patient to blink just before the measurement. And if our results are not reliable, we suggest to put 5 minutes before or to put some drops, lubrication drops, over the lens on the eye and leave the drops work on the eye for almost 3 minutes and after repeat the measurement. What is the difference between Aberra-X HOE and OVITZ HOE? The big difference is that Aberra-X is a MEDLAC technology, so we do project and calculate the optics using every kind of aberrometers that give you a particular value of polynomials. In this case, with Aberra-X by Medlac, we don't need to order a dotted lens. We will center the optics of Aberra-X using a very well done picture at the slit lamp. And we will use the reference mark used as in the past. If we want to go on OVITZ Aberra-X, we need to order, once we finish our fittings and once we found the correct lens, we have to order a tested lens with all these black dots on the surface, because OVITZ technology works automatically, but the X-wave aberrometer needs these kind of dots on lens. The Aberra-X ordering system with X-wave is very, very comfortable and is very effective. And also this instrument take a complete ocular aberrometry over the final lens. So is projected, designed to work over lenses. So at the end is very similar to an ocular aberrometer, but it is special designed for over aberrometry over contact lens on eye. Using the table of the Zerning table tools with X-Wave, we can export immediately with a button all the value in microns or of the HOE Zernike polynomial values. And we can do a PDF file to send by email to Medlac for the order of Medlac Aberra-X. We can also use and we can accept with such reserve, we can accept the use of other kind of aberrometers, as well as the data given by these aberrometers are correct and are expressed in microns. How work the X-Wave software? X-Wave software, before to take a measurement, you must choose the patient wearing base lens with markings, select Medlac Adapta, and after the capture, we can select orientatively. This is not very, very important. This is only an indication for us. We can select the orientation of the marks. At the moment OVITZ did still not put inside the software our marks, so I put this picture only for example, but in the next months you will find all the catalog inside the software, so the lens marks will change related to the lens that the patient is wearing. After taking a good over aberrometry and select the orientation of the lens, logically we can submit an order, filling automatically these kind of forms and submit immediately this order. With this system, we will receive automatically the value of polynomials, but still we don't receive any information about the centration and about the orientation of the lens on eye. Also, if you use other kind of aberrometers, you can download using this QR code our Excel sheet, so you can fill manually every polynomial value and send to us. So, how to fill the polynomial value sheet? Take in mind that aberrometry can be expressed in two different values, and unfortunately, the one system is the exact contrary of the other system. What I mean? I mean that we need wavefront error value. So the polynomial must have the expression of wavefront error, not the expression of OPD. The OPD is the ocular error, is exactly the contrary of wavefront error. So sometime we received orders by some of our customers that was using OPD, and the value of polynomial was the same, but the scene was the contrary. So one system is the contrary of the other. Be sure before use other kind of aberrometers that you are sending us wavefront aberration polynomial value. Another very important aspect using AberraX by Medlac and not OVITZ system is that at the email containing the PDF with polynomial value, we also need a very good picture of the lens on eye. And this is not something always easy to do. So the photo, the picture must be well-centered and focused enough to show the stabilization marks on the lens. Some lenses like SLC Adapta are more easy because have black dots. Other lenses without the black dotting is a little more tricky. But anyways, taking account that never we can accept a picture like this. The centered, the patient was looking in other place, or the picture is decentered like the picture on our right. So we cannot use picture that have visual axis not aligned on the picture. So it's very important to ask the patient to see inside the center of the ocular of the slit lamp. This is very difficult sometimes to do. And also if the stabilization marks are not visible, logically we can accept the pictures. Or if some part of the lens is missing or covered by eyelids, also we cannot accept. These examples are two lenses that we done in the Medlac research center, and we used it to calculate very good AberraX lenses. So you can see that these two pictures are very well centered. The marks are very good visible, and also we can immediately understand the centration of the lens on the visual axis of the patients. The OVITZ HOE correction and control system is a technology designed by OVITZ. So what is the difference? In the moment you order an AberraX using not the black dotted lens or using another aberrometer, the optics will be calculated by Medlac and not by OVITZ. If you use OVITZ system using X-wave aberrometer, the calculation of optics will be done automatically by OVITZ factory in US. They have a lot of experience, so we suppose that the correction will be better, of course. It's a little early to tell this, but first clinical trials show us that with using OVITZ system, the correction are much more good. Anyways, OVITZ needs a dotted lens, black dotted lens. In this case, using X-wave system, we don't need to take a picture. This picture is only to show you how the lens is made and what dots have, because these dots will be automatically recognized by the X-wave aberrometer. The system works at the same in the X-wave software. You start with patient wearing base lens with marks. You can select Adapta or you can select other kind of product. And also here, I can show you how the IR camera recognizes the black dots very powerful and in a very correct way. So this is the reason why OVITZ do not need any picture by the practitioner. So with X-wave system, everything is smooth and everything is fast. Anyways, the ordering system is the same. After you do this kind of order, and you can submit a form, and automatically this form is transmitted online to OVITZ. OVITZ will receive your order, and in 12 hours, no more for contract, they will send back to Medlac the file containing the optics for these patients. At this point, I let talk someone that knows much more about me, about clinical side. So I invite Aitana Munguia to continue this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Iovino, for your outstanding presentation about the technical procedures of the manufacturing of the EHO lenses. But let's get to the fun part of the clinical practice. So once we have our each EO lenses, how do we handle the evaluation of these lenses on the eye of the patient? So we must do three kinds of different tests. The first testing would be regarding the evaluation of the normalization of the aberrations of the new lens that's customized for the patient. The second evaluation or test will be to assess the quantitative objective vision. So the part that we can see objectively. And at last, we can assess the subjective improvements in the visual performance. So in order to do that, the first that we will do is to make an over-aberrometry on the new lens that the patient is wearing. And thank you to the X-wave instrumentation, we can make a comparison between the standard design scleral lens and the tailored aberrometry lens. Okay, so as you can see, we can have a wavefront map that show us how the lens is working, and also comparison in the Cernicke plots. After this, to assess properly the visual outcome in an objective way, we must perform two tests that we already know. At the first moment, we can perform the best corrected visual acuity. Normally, we expect the visual acuity to improve between 1 and 3.5 lines between the standard and the customized aberration lens. And also, this must be in the hand of an improvement in the contrast sensitivity. And this is a crucial point in the assessment of our patient, because if in this moment we are not seeing a good performance of the new lens, this must be a suspicion, this must make the clinical suspect of a low order correction of aberrations still to be assessed. So if you use this system and after ordering the first lens, you're not seeing a good improvement of the visual acuity, it's very, very important to make a recheck of the residual spheric and cylindrical refraction, low order aberrations. Anyways, if at this point you find a very good improvement in the visual acuity, this is a sign that the procedure was correctly performed, okay? So last but not least, a very good way to know if the lens is working and the patient is happy with the new lens is to assess the subjective vision performance. For that, we can be helped by the questionnaire quality of vision. That is a validated questionnaire, and it is made by 30 questions that make a very big comprehension on frequency, severity, and bothersome of the aberrations that the patient is suffering. For that, we make 30 questions to the patient that can be related to a specifically separated aberrations. So we also give the patient this kind of images to relate what he's feeling to an exact kind of aberration. So this helps us to separate with which aberrations are more present in this kind of patients. So at last, also another way to assess the subjective STAR test is this kind of symbol representation. So what we do is we ask our patient to draw what he is seeing when we show him or her this symbol. So this is a pictorial representation of the subjective visual performance. Okay, so let's see some cases of how this life-changing technology can improve the quality of life of our patients, especially the night driving, and also to be able to trust again in their vision. I will present you two cases. My first case is a professional billiard player. He is a 42-year-old male referred by the Public Health Service as a 3-stage keratoconic eye in the right eye and a first-stage keratoconic eye in the left eye. He came to my practice with a RPG, fitted corneal RPG, and also he was referred with a very high ectasia in the posterior corneal surface, especially in the right eye. He was complaining to have a very bad reference of the borders of the balls when he was playing billiard, and also of the profundity of the depth performance, knowing where the balls were in the table. When I asked him to close one eye and to describe the vision he was having with the right eye, he also described monocular diplopia. So, as you can see, his visual outcome with spectacles was 3 on 10 on the right eye and 8 on 10 in the left eye. You can see that the profilometry shows a very irregular surface. And as I don't like to lose my time and also know the time of my patients, I directly assessed a freeform lens to this patient. So once I got our new pair of Adapta lenses, I could assess also the visual acuity, and we can see that in the right eye, there was not a very beautiful gain of the vision, only 4 on 10. Even though the left eye was in a very good condition, he was seeing 10 on 10. So that was not that bad, right? But he was still complaining about discomfort when playing billiard, especially blur, high in double vision, focusing, and depth perception. So the next thing I did was to perform an aberrometry on the standard Adapta. So this was not still tailored for these patient aberrometric values. And as we can see, the RMS value was already in red. So this is showing that's a high value in aberrometric error. And as you can see also this very intense yellow spot in the middle of the waveform map. And this was correlated in the Zernike plot with a especially big horizontal coma and a little bit of spherical aberration. As you know, because we studied this in our career, a coma is an aberration of an image of a point that shows elongated or as tailed, like she has, it had a little bit of tail. So this aberration may impact in the performance of the borders of the objects, or also causing distortion in the images. And if we add the spherical aberration effect, we find a blurry vision and discomfort for the patient. So we proceed to order a new lens with the Aberra X correction with that prior values. And as you can see already in the first table, the RMS was already reduced to the half of the value or less. So now we are seeing quite good correction in this eye. And this is also shown in this wavefront map, where we can see that this yellow spot is not that marked anymore. If we talk about more objective or refined evaluation, we can see this Zernick coefficient table, where horizontal coma was also was low into subclinical values. So we can see that this was very good, and spherical correction was slightly reduced. In this patient, we could see a very big improvement in visual acuity. He went from 4/10 to 8/10. So this was a very high performance for this kind of correction. And he was telling that he found comfort again in playing billiard and a very big improvement in night driving. Okay. When we assessed the quality of vision scores, we can find that the blur went lower, also double vision, and was moderate in the focusing and deep perfection complaints. But overall, it was a very big improvement in his vision. So let's move to the second case report. In this case, is a 38-year-old woman, referred also from the Public Health Service, with a 3-stage keratoconus in both eyes and high myopia. She also was with a tomography that reported a high ectasia in the posterior corneal surface, and she had never been fitted contact lenses before. When I asked her what was her biggest complaints, she was referring very bad vision at night, even being at home, and feeling really insecure after the sunset when she had to leave home. So one of the biggest surprise I could feel in this patient was when I looked about the visual acuity. She was having a very bad vision that did not improve very much with the spectacles, finding only a 3/10 in the right eye and finger counting in 3 meters with the left eye. That's a very bad situation, right? So again, assessing with the profilometry, I went ahead to adapt a fitting, because honestly, with this kind of pattern, I don't want to lose my time, and I do a freeform lens. When getting the new lens, we could see that that the patient had a very big improvement in visual acuity. She had a 8/10 monocularly and 10/10 binocularly. So she was pretty happy with her vision. But when asking her about night lights, she was complaining very much. Actually, this woman is working in night shifts. As you can imagine, this woman does not drive car because she had not a good sight for that. But when she went in the car, she could complain about terrible halos in traffic lights and a big discomfort in at night vision. Again, on the quality of vision score, there was a high glare, halos, starburst, and moderate double vision. When performing over Aberrometry, we could see that the RMS levels were on top. Over 1.0, we can see that the RMS value for this left eye was 1.64. And you can notice this yellow island in the wavefront map that is very deep, and also in the Zernick plots that the horizontal coma and the spherical aberration are so extreme that are marked in red. We already spoke about the horizontal coma in the prior case, but now if we focus a little bit more on the spherical aberration, we can relate it to a loss, a very impact loss in the contrast sensitivity. So some patients that can be reading acuity of 10/10 or 20/20 they still have problems to find very small details because they have a very high loss on contrast sensitivity. So they feel like the images are softened, and they complain about big problems at night when the pupils are large. Again, we made a tailored Aberra-X lens on an Adapta. So immediately we could see that, again, the RMS value was reduced to the half of the original state. As you can see in the wavefront map, the yellow spot is not there anymore. So this means that is a very, very impressive improvement. And if we go in detail, we can see that the Zernike tables show an improvement in almost every one of the Aberrometer coefficients. So at this point, if we assess the visual acuity on this left eye, remember that the prior with the Adapta standard lens was 8/10. With this new Aberra-X lens, the patient was seeing clearly 12/10. She was very, very happy about the comfort at night, and the quality of vision scores got very, very big improvement, now only low compared in glares, halos, starburst, and double vision. So from now on, I give back the words to Dr. Iovino to show the next case.
Thank you, Aitana. I would like to present you and also to make clarifications that the first two case reports was done by using Medlac Aberra-X system that, of course, is amazing because you can see how we can pass from 8 to 12/10, but this is pure numbers and these are not so important. What is important is that subjective there is a lot of improvement, and our patients, all patients recruited for the study, for the clinical study, preferred the Aberra-X lens instead the old classic optic lens. This case report that I want to show you is a case report that I followed personally in the Medlac Research Center of Avellino, and this is a young male man, patient, sorry, with keratoconus at third stadium by Amsler, fitted into SLC dual SAG. What is SLC dual SAG? SLC dual SAG is our preformed toric periphery scleral lens since 2022, and he was very, very happy with the lens, with the comfort of lens, but he complained a lot of halons and monocular diplopia in the night. Left eye show also a very high ectasia of the posterior surface of cornea. So this is an indication to Aberra-X or OVITZ or every HOE correction. Why? Because we know that using GP lenses, scleral or GP corneal, any kind of GP correction at contact with the surface, we can correct almost the 90% of the irregularity of the front surface of cornea. But we absolutely cannot correct the interior, the inner surface of cornea-related issues. So monocular night vision diplopia is the most challenging case to correct with HOE, and is the most difficult patients. These patients came in our clinics. We performed a very good ocular profilometry just to confirm that the dual SAG value of the lens was correct. And with the spectacle refraction, he arrived at 3/10 with a very low cylinder. So this vision very blurred and this vision with spectacles so low was not related to something that could be corrected with low order correction, especially with the spectacles. You can see here the ocular tomography made by OCT MS39, how much the interior surface of cornea is ectasic, and the edge of the ectasia is cutting perfectly the visual axis. This is the worst condition that we can expect in our clinic because the vision in this patient are always very, very bad. You can see here an OCT performed on his lens on use. And with this lens, we registered a very good, a relative very good high contrast visual acuity with lens. We passed to 8.5 on 10. So if we take in account only the high contrast, this case was amazing with the SLH Konica, but was amazing when? For the past. Today we are putting a new step of the contactology, and the new step is prone to correct something that in the past we can't. Anyways, we performed on this lens and over aberrometry, and with this new system, advanced system, OVITZ X-Wave, using the plot screen, we could see immediately that 3 polynomials was very, very worse. For example, the vertical comma was absolutely severe. The spherical aberration that someone of you can think, oh my God, spherical aberration is not important. No, spherical aberration is an aberration like others and must be corrected. And when it is so bad like this, needs a customized HOE optics. Also, there is in this map another polynomial very, very much severe that was the second comma, the second vertical comma, that was the opposite of the vertical comma. So we had this comma is the exact contrary of the other, and putting these together one with the other make a very high amount of comma aberrations. So what we made? We made a black dot lens because this case report is related to the OVITZ system using X-Wave. We passed from the conical lenses without dot. We made the same lens, identical lens that the patient was using until that moment, but adding only the black dot on the lens. You can see on the picture on the left. And also on the two pictures in the center and the right, I show you what is the difference in the optical, in the power map of lenses between the standard optic lens for these patients and the OVITZ optic lens. So you can see this is a map that tells you how much and how is distributed the power in the optical zone of lens. Well, put this lens on the eye and fitted this lens on eye, we had a very, very big surprise because he started to see immediately good, and the vision, the visus at high contrast passed from 8.5 to 10 on 10 plus plus. We also projected some letters of 12 on 10, and he could see also some letter of 12 on 10. In the image on the left is something that can be considered by someone of you not professional, but I think that in the moment is the most effective subjective exam that you can have, indication that you can have from patients. So ask your patients how he see the star pattern in the chart projector. You can see the upside picture. practically have only the pattern with a very, very low aberration or double vision around the object. Instead, the down star indicate how it was looking and how it was the vision of the same stimulus in the same condition, but with the normal lens with standard optics. This was confirmed by plot. This plot on the right, the up graphic, show you how was severe and how much was height the polynomial value before on the left and after with Aberrometry lens by OVITZ. You can see that with the new lens, absolutely we comprimmed all polynomial in a value that can be considered like subclinical or quite similar to it. Of course, also the map show the same thing. And what I made something funny for this meeting of today, I made only this to clarify something that it is new for us. When we started at the end of last year to do HOE lenses, we was asking ourselves how much visual acuity at high contrast can improve with this new technology. Well, considering only the 3 cases of this presentation, we had an average of 2.77 line of visual acuity. I remember you that this is not vision. Visual acuity at high contrast is not a vision, but we can suppose, we can admit, we can promise to our customer that, of course, visual acuity can improve almost of 2 lines in worse cases. This was only a light presentation. We will continue this at the next BCLA British Contact Lens Association Congress in June, where we'll be present in the stand number 17 with our distributor iGo, that is a group of ProLens, and also with Eaglet Eye and OVITZ companies. We will share all the most modern and most effective technology of the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco.
Very much. There is a question for you, Marco, I think. It's from Chris. And the question is, does the OVITZ aberrometer see the black dots easily with dark eyes?
Good questions. Aberrometry started in November without using the black dotting because we was developing our Aberrometry system. We started with OVITZ only 2 months ago. And I think that dots will be recognized also in very dark eye. I cannot assure you, but OVITZ company never complained this kind of issues. So in the indication of the techniques, there is not any reference to the color of iris.
Wonderful, thank you. Armin.
Any other questions from any participant? You can wave your hand.
There's one more question in the chat.
Yep, we recorded this session and we'll send it to you in the next days. Where is the question, Elena?
Ivan Manka is asking, could you please elaborate on the typical number of lenses required throughout the fitting process to achieve the final optimized outcome?
Only one lens. Look, guys, this is a very important question. I remember I have in our clinical trials, I have a patient, very, very particular. This patient was wearing a microscleral lens and every year came in my office, in our office, to change the new lens. At the exchange of the new lens, he never see well. with the new lens. Never. We was thinking we had problem in the how I can say repeatability of the lens. We checked the lens. We became crazy. What happens to this year in February? He came to me and I told him, "Oh, are you happy with the vision in the night?" "No, of course I'm not." "Okay, so let's go to make Aberrometry lenses." We made an Aberrometry only on the left eye, that was the worst eye. The first lens we put it on the eye, he immediately told me, "Marco, this vision is fantastic." I always ask my patient to come back after 15 days to recheck. After 15 days, he came back to my clinic and he asked to remake in HOE also the right eye. Anyways, no any of our patient complained a remake of a lens, of a final lens. What I'm telling you, if the protocol is followed very well, so we start from a good fitting, we start from a well settled lens, we start from a lens that have a stabilization. We cannot start to do HOE with lens without stabilization. So back toric that have a reliable stabilization. Prismatic lenses or asymmetrical lens like Adapta are perfect because the stabilization is always in that point. So what I'm telling you, when you start from a good stabilized lens and you use good Aberrometry validated by Medlac. At the moment, we validated only X-Wave and CSO Osiris T. Other Aberrometry can be used, but anyways, when we used other Aberrometers, we always complained some problems. So who of you want to join in this technology is better that use the technology validated and follow very well the protocol. The answer is very easy. No, absolutely. If you follow the protocol, one lens, one goal.
All right.
Very good.
Seen
Thank
any
you.
other question, Elena? All right, guys. Time to have dinner or a drink. Thanks again. Looking very much forward to see these guys who are attending the BCLA at our stand in the beginning of June. Otherwise, you have all the email addresses in front of you on the slides page. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact us via email or phone at eagle@eye, Medlac, or iGo ProLens. Thanks very much again. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye, good night. Have a good
Thank you.
rest of the
Bye-bye.
Thank
week.
you all.